Lord Stanley is staying in South Florida. The Florida Panthers ran away with Game 6 with a huge 5-1 victory. It wasn't even close. We are going to go over what is going to be going on in terms of free agents. The rumor mills are started to churn less than 24 hours since the Stanley Cup was decided and given to the Florida Panthers, guys. Man, the Cats ran away with that one last night. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a blowout. But I told you guys I thought it was going to be a 2-goal victory for the Panthers, maybe 3. But man, that was a blowout last night. Sam Reinhart was spectacular. I told you guys he would show up, and I told you that Matthew Tkachuk was going to show up as well. And that's the other thing, guys. We finally found out what Matthew Tkachuk has been playing with in terms of the injury that he sustained in the Four Nations Cup. We also found out about a couple of other injuries to some of the players on the Panthers squad. And again, guys that are Edmonton Oilers fans, I don't want to hear about, oh, well, our guys are playing injured too. That's not what this episode is about, okay? You can write it in the comments. Okay, that's fine. Put it out there. Your guys are injured. Everybody's injured. It's the Stanley Cup Finals. These guys are tough as nails. They are the toughest athletes, I think, on the planet because they play through anything. Anything. And I will start going over what some of these injuries were. And man, they were not for the faint of heart, okay? Some of these injuries were pretty severe. But anyways, the Cats, 5-1, big victory. They ran away with it last night. Like I said, it wasn't even close. Sam Reinhart with that first spectacular goal when he was falling on his butt and got that puck up into that corner of the goal to start off the scoring. And then Tkachuk got on the board. I know Reinhart had 4 goals. Let's count it really 2. I know he had the 2 empty netters, but still, the Cats ran away with it. It wasn't even close. And I said in my other videos, was the time on ice going to be a factor for the Edmonton Oilers? And I think it did. And I also think that their issue at goaltender is going to be something that they're going to be addressing this offseason, and it worked in the favor of the Cats because they started, after the first 2 games of this series, they really started to figure out Skinner. They figured out Pickard. They really did a phenomenal job of knowing where to place their players, throwing the puck, cross ice, and if they're charging the net, just throw the puck at the net somewhere in one of those corners because it will get up and over those goaltenders. That's the thing that these Cats found out about these goaltenders in this series. And the biggest turning point, I was going to say that was the catalyst for the Cats to turn this thing around, was Brad Marchand's overtime winner. That was the goal that sparked this run that gave the Cats back-to-back Stanley Cup titles. It was the magic of Marchand. My goodness, was he great in the Stanley Cup Finals. I know the Conn Smythe did not go to him, but I really hope they're able to keep him because he still has another 2 or 3 years left in the tank. We're going to get into that a little bit later in my next episode that will be coming out this afternoon. But we're going to jump right into this, guys. Here we go. Stanley Cup champions, back to back, baby. Sorry, Oilers fans, but the Cats were the better, deeper team. And some of the guys that were even saying when they were being interviewed, this is about a team effort. Even Tkachuk was saying this was a total team effort. They were talking about, oh, how did it feel to score a goal in the deciding game? He's like, it's not about stats for me. This is about the team effort, the team game. I could care less about stats. Literally, he was like, I don't care. We played so much better as a team. It's not about 1 or 2 guys that are trying to lead the team and take control. Obviously, referencing Draisaitl and McDavid, he said, we play as a team. That is why we won. We are deeper. We're a deeper team. We play together. We know how to win. We persevere. We fight through adversity. And man, did they ever. So we're going to keep rocking and rolling here. All pucks are on the board. Same as last year. Not a single spot is empty. Awesome, guys. Conn Smythe winner, Bennett. What I love about this is he says, it's the culture. There's a way we do things here, and it's not easy. He's staying, guys. He is going to stay. I know it's going to probably cost the Cats probably around $8 million a year because the rumor is they've been trying to work out a deal with him that's similar to Carter Verhaeghe's. $7 million a year for 8 years is what they were trying to get. But now that he's won the Conn Smythe, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, 15 goals in the postseason, 13 of them on the road, he's probably going to get upwards of around $8 million. I think he might even try to take a hometown discount, especially if Bill Zito meets with him and they discuss guys, let's try to keep this team together. We could probably bring Marchand back in. And that's, again, a conversation that I'm going to have later this afternoon to share with you guys about what the rumor mills are churning out about Brad Marchand and the possibilities in terms of what he could get paid. I mean, some of these teams could throw a lot of money at him. I know some teams will throw a lot of money at Bennett as well, but we'll talk about that later. So yeah, Conn Smythe totally deserved it. He was the best player in all the playoffs, leading every single scorer out there with 15 goals. We're going to keep moving forward here. So these were the injuries. Matthew Tkachuk's injuries. Yes, it was a mess. He tore his adductor. That is the muscle on the inside of your leg. If you think of it like your groin, he tore it off the bone. He was interviewed after the game and he said, yeah, I tore that thing off the bone. And I was playing with a hernia on the same exact side too. He had a sports hernia. So he was playing with a torn adductor. Guys, research it and find out how bad of an injury that is. And what scares me the most about when he said that is off-season surgery for an injury like that is not an easy one. I'm not going to start spitting things out that I'm not too familiar with, but I've had plenty of surgeries. I've ruptured my Achilles. I just had surgery on my foot because I broke a bone in it. I've had surgery on my wrist, surgery on my finger, 3 shoulder surgeries. I'm very aware surgical procedures, and with the adductor, as well as I was a personal trainer, so I'm aware of the human body very much. The adductor is a very kind of, it's a fickle muscle because if you injure it, it takes forever to heal. And the way that he injured it, if he really did tear it off the bone, and he's going to have a very serious surgery to get that thing put back on. And we're going to have to see, how is he going to heal? Is it going to really affect him or not? I mean, a lot of questions. I'm sure things will start coming out into the open about what he is going to do this offseason to get that repaired. But man, tough as nails. And then Maurice says that Barkov split his hand open in game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. He fought through that. Reinhart, grade 2, MCL injury. I don't know what leg it is, but hey, these guys are tough as nails. Like I said, hockey players are the toughest athletes on the planet. They will play through anything. They don't care. They do not care. This team fought through adversity. They fought through pain, blood, sweat, and tears. They have earned this trophy as a team. And man, it was a beautiful thing to watch. It really was. This whole Stanley Cup Finals, the Panthers, like I said, they are the model franchise right now in the NHL. They are what other teams aspire to be. A total team effort in the Stanley Cup Finals. And I'm going to show you the stats that, for the whole playoffs in just a minute. You're going to see how even it is. Tkachuk played through adductor muscle, sports hernia injuries. I just went over that. But I just can't believe that he played through that. And he said it was 50-50 coming into that first game in the first round against the Lightning. Wasn't sure, came in, he's fought through it, and he played great. Again, very quietly. Same thing with Barkov. Very quietly, he played through this playoffs. Now we know the reason why he wasn't scoring in these finals is because he was playing with that cut-up hand. So things are coming out. We're starting to learn a little bit more. I really thought that Barkov maybe was just, kind of playing, in the shadows. Like I said, playing that defensive game, working on the assists, setting up his teammates, being the leader that he is, that kind of, again, unsung hero. If we go back, you look at every single game that they played this through this playoffs, you could probably see he's there waiting in the shadows, trying to set up his teammates, digging at those pucks in the corners, really doing a great job. I mean, there's a reason why he's got the C on his sweater. So 5-1 victory, guys. Wasn't even close. The stat sheet shows otherwise. It was a lot closer than it really was. But what was amazing about this game is, look, there were no power play opportunities. None. When I saw that and I saw goose eggs there, I really? To me, it didn't seem like, the game was that clean. I guess the refs just really did let them play. And they did. And I told you, the Panthers had to block shots, and they did. They blocked 17 shots. There were penalties, yes, but they were even. That's why there was no power play opportunities. And the Panthers did a great job yet again. They took that 4-on-4 and treated it like it was an actual power play for the Oilers because they do have the advantage of putting McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice at the same time, and they are the faster out of all the 8 players that were playing on the ice at that time, including the Panthers, obviously, with 8 players. They are the faster team. And that's what made them dangerous in that 4-on-4. So they kind of killed it off like it was just a regular penalty kill. Giveaways, takeaways, you guys take it as it is. I'm not going to go into that too much. So the Panthers in that game, you see Sam Reinhart, 4 goals, obviously the 2 empty netters. And Sergei Bobrovsky, man, a wall. He was great again. He had some big stops in that first period, in that first about 5-6 minutes when it looked like the Oilers were coming out, on fire. They were trying to slide something past Sergei Bobrovsky, but man, did he stand tall. He is going to be he's a surefire Hall of Famer, obviously, because he's a Vezina Trophy winner, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. The one thing that I was kind of down about was, yes, the Conn Smythe it went to Bennett, and he rightfully deserved it. But it kind of sucks that he didn't get to win the Conn Smythe. I feel like he was deserving of it as well, even though he did, not every game was a, 5-1 like this was, or it was game 3 where the Panthers ran away with it either. It wasn't like that. He had games where he gave up 4 or 5. So I can see why he didn't get it. And Bennett, well-deserved. Phenomenal effort by him. But yeah, you see the numbers here were great. Brad Marchand was a little bit off, but hey, they didn't need him. It was Sam Reinhart. Tkachuk had a great goal too. What a shot. What a snipe, though, when he was coming from that top circle, making his way to the middle of the ice and just threw that one at the net. And man, what a beautiful shot into that upper right corner. So, Edmonton Oilers. Look at all those goose eggs. Look at all those negative plus minuses. Especially Connor McDavid, -4. And look at Draisaitl too, guys. Draisaitl, I mean, they just disappeared. And I'm telling you, I think it was because they were overplayed. They were tired. The time on ice, though, you could really see was a lot less. 22 minutes for McDavid. 22 minutes for Draisaitl. I think Knoblauch overplayed his big-name guys. I think the overtime games took their toll. And that's the reason why the Panthers were able to run away with this in the end. I would say this. Yes, the teams were very evenly matched to start the series. But as the series wore on, Paul Maurice made the proper adjustments for his club, for his players, seeing that, hey, I need to rest my guys more or else we're not going to have anything left in the tank. Like they all said on this team, we play as if it's going to 7 games. We play to go to 7 games. That's what they're doing. The conditioning factor in the beginning of the game, I think it was, I don't even know why they had Chuck between the boards talking to Matthew Tkachuk, but it was kind of a great play on words there with Charles Barkley. But when he was asked, they said, our legs are great. We've got the conditioning factor. And I think we all saw it on the ice last night. The Panthers didn't look tired. They were zipping around all over the place. They were still throwing the body. I mean, there's a couple big hits. I mean, Marchand got not lit up, but he got hit pretty hard in the beginning of the game in that first period where he lost his hat. But, man, what a great overall effort by this team. The Cats, they were just phenomenal. And the .870 save percentage for Skinner, I told you guys, they just knew these goaltenders backwards and forwards. The Cats just knew where to throw the puck at them, and they knew it would go in if they just went to that those corners. If they're just throwing it anywhere up there, they're falling down or they're getting out of position too. And it you could see it in last night's game too. They were continuously getting out of position. Skinner was last night. So these are the stats for the Cats for all of the playoffs. Carter Verhaeghe, Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, Matthew Tkachuk. Again, look at Barkov and look at Tkachuk. The numbers there, 22 and 21 points in total. What I love about this, again, it was quietly done for Barkov. Quietly done. Sneaky. And he still played great. We didn't talk about him a lot, and I know somebody commented in my video yesterday stating that, you need to say more about Barkov. This is a national thing because, this is the Cats, the Panthers. They're, going to win back-to-back Stanley Cup titles. I want to know more about what you think Barkov is going to actually do to show up in this game. Well, I already said it. I'm like, he just waited in the shadows, kind of. He goes into those corners. He digs at those pucks. He takes over. And even when there wasn't a chance that you think he could get his stick on the puck and take control of it because the Oilers had it, he would stick his nose in there, dig it out, steal it. He would just take it right away. It's unbelievable. That's why Sasha Barkov is the captain on this team. He's a leader. He fights hard. And he really, really got this team fired up. And I think Brad Marchand, too. Like I said, Barkov's not the loudest guy in there. But, man, he's a great leader. He really is. And then, like I said, Brad Marchand, we hope he stays. And then Bobrovsky, magical postseason. 2.44 goals against average, 914 save percentage. Technically a 2.20 goals against average in the playoffs. 16 wins, 7 losses. Bravo. Phenomenal for this team. I don't even know what to say. I'm kind of speechless right now because I can't believe they've actually won back-to-back titles, and they are now favorites with the Colorado Avalanche as well as the Edmonton Oilers for next year. They're favored to win. All three of them are favored to win the Cup right now. The biggest question is going to be this. If the Panthers are able to re-sign Bennett, re-sign Marchand, and hopefully keep Ekblad as well. I know a lot of you were saying, who cares? Let Ekblad go. He's still an integral piece. Why change what isn't broken? What is working? Stick with it. This team is great. They're going to be better next year. If they can keep all of the same guys, you don't really need to make a whole lot of changes. Yes, down the roster with some of the guys that Bill Zito has picked up, you could probably replace them. Nico Sturm, we'll see what happens. I know there's a few other guys that they picked up to fill in some of those holes in the roster, and I think they'll do it again. And I'll tell you all of this stuff later this afternoon when I actually do another video on GM Bill Zito and his genius and magic of how he has built this team since he got here in 2020. All of the magic that he has been able to do, from trades to free agent pickups and to drafting as well as picking up coaches. I'm going to talk about all of that this afternoon and kind of go through a timeline of since he got here in 2020, the moves he has made, how he has built this team. Again, that will come later this afternoon, guys, and we'll also go over some of the rumors that are spilling out there about what's going to happen with Brad Marchand, what's going to happen with Bennett, what's going to happen with Ekblad. What are the rumors that are really starting to fly? Again, it's less than 24 hours and they're already out there. And the Mitch Marner stuff that's still out there, I don't think he's going to come here. But again, stranger things have happened. We picked up Brad Marchand. So we'll see. But guys, bravo Cats. They are champs again. So we get to have Lord Stanley staying in South Florida for the rest of the summer. He'll be in the ocean. The Cats are all celebrating at Elbow Room. That's a bar that's in Fort Lauderdale. They are actually showed up this morning. I think it was about 7 o'clock when they got there, and they are partying. It was Sasha Barkov got there. I'm sure Matthew Tkachuk will be out there as well. And if you guys are out there, enjoy, have fun. I wish I could be there. If you get the chance to drink from the Stanley Cup, do it. I'm very envious. But guys, big win. Congratulations to everybody in the organization for the Florida Panthers, players, front office, guys working behind the scenes, everybody. Congratulations. Hard work paid off. Now let's see what happens in the offseason. The real work is ahead, starting tomorrow. Enjoy today. Start planning for next year. Go Cats.